Hi, this is Reverend Laurie with Unity of Ocala for our midweek love notes, the third week. I can't believe we're going into the third week of August already. And today I want to address a question that was posted on one of our love notes that someone was reading or they found on Facebook, or they found it on YouTube, or perhaps on our website, Unity of Ocala. And I felt very concerned for the person writing it because she had asked the love notes must have been about Myrtle Fillmore and her meditation technique and how she dealt with her healing and through it founded the Unity movement. And she was quite distressed that the technique and the words and the exact method was not used in the video that I recorded. And without coming to church and seeing all of our work and reading all the books we read, it would be kind of hard for a person to understand that Myrtle's prayer practice and technique, her meditative healing techniques, was not in a calculated formula that she magically came upon and found based on these hidden words and the structure of the wording and the emphasis on the words. It was not that way. As a matter of fact, actually finding her words and her method is next to impossible because she really didn't write a lot down. She taught a lot of classes. Her students took copious notes. And she shared in the Unity magazines and Unity articles in the early days, the late 1890s and early 1900s. So she did not say, this is how you do it. Sit down, say these words, and you will be healed. That was not her method. What happened was a coming into an idea that her mind and her body coexisted with God. There was no separation. And her thoughts could actually send vibrations through her body like an electrical current and would help them cooperate, her organs cooperate in a manner that would produce a positive outcome. We know this now as the power of words. We teach in Unity that everything we think in our minds, everything we speak, everything we feel, and every action we take is a prayer. We are putting out into the universe what we want returned. And now we know on a quantum physics level that is indeed the case. That what we sow, we reap. That what we put out there adds to this vibrational field of electronic magnetism that we have around us, that does indeed vibrate out and attract to it that and even greater of what we are putting out. Now, this makes sense in a lot of spiritual cycles, and sometimes we skip over the how-tos. And for that, I'm so very sorry, because I didn't mean to be confusing. I certainly didn't mean to deceive anyone. These practices are available to everyone, but there is not a specific witch's brew or specific words. What she began to discover was that the more she let herself think negative thoughts and think that dying was inevitable and think that nothing was going to work. My heart is always going to be weak. My liver's always going to be weak. I am going to die from this disease. Then she got sicker and sicker. But when she began to study these spiritual principles that Unity teaches, she began to get better and better. So she began making that connection together. I have put together from her archived notes and letters and books that we have, and Charles' work from all of those sources, a systematic meditation that I like to introduce to new students that I call Myrtle Fillmore's prayer treatment, because it is a treatment that she used, but it is not specific words. and it is not done in a specific condition or room or with a specific teacher in the room. It is a way of thinking and a way of being and showing up in the world. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what she said to one of her students or one of the patients of the many hundreds that would write to her every month. This is in Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters. You can find it online. It is still in print. It's a very, very popular book and certainly a basic text for all of Unity students. And she did not write or give out the questions and the people that were asking the questions and asking for her prayers. She simply shared with her students the answers that she gave them. So that is what they have compiled this book, the answers that to the letters that people were writing to her. So I hope this helps, especially that one person, if she tunes in again, a little bit to help you understand where Myrtle's heart was coming from, what her words were saying to her body, and that type of a process, so that you can adjust it to your specific situation and challenges in life. Because you probably don't have tuberculosis. Modern medicine and science has helped us overcome that. But she writes, or she tells her students, I myself was once an emaciated little woman, upon whose relatives and doctors had placed the stamp TB, tuberculosis. And this is only one of the many ailments they diagnosed. There were others considered beyond any help. There were days I could not get out of bed because of the hemorrhoids were too excruciating. There was no help left except possibly the changing of structures through an operation. And there were family problems too. We were a sickly lot and came to the place where we were unable to provide for our own children. In the midst of all this gloom, we kept looking for the way out, which we felt would surely be revealed. It was. The light of God revealed to us. The thought came to me first that life was of God, that we were inseparably one with Source, that we inherited from the divine and perfect Father. Every organ designed by God, every cell a thumbprint. What the revelation did to me at first was not apparent to my senses, but it held my mind above the negation. And I began to claim my birthright and act as though I believed myself a child of God, filled with his life. I gained, and others saw that there was something new in me. And they asked me to share it, and I did. Others were healed and began to study. My husband continued his business and at first took little interest in what I was doing. But after a time, he became absorbed in the study of truth as well and kept doing daily, which we felt led to do. Then we consecrated ourselves to the Lord and kept doing daily that which we felt led. We began to prosper a little at a time, and our health continued to improve. Life became sweeter and more interesting, and we began to see a new world. In all these years, our interest has not lagged, and we have continued to enjoy the unfoldment of God and God's plan in our life. So each of these teachings that Unity ministers and licensed teachers give, each of these talks contain pearls of all of those words of Myrtle and Charles, based on their words from Eastern healing techniques, as well as Jesus Christ's work and words and actions. And we begin with new students expressing to them to be mindful first of what they are thinking about. What do you find yourself focused on? How are you speaking about yourself to others, to yourself? What kinds of conversations are you engaged in? Look around your life and see what it is there that is not pleasing to you. Because in some realm, on some conscious level, you drew that to you. If this is something you would like to change, we begin by merely focusing our thoughts on something different. If you're lacking anything in the realm of human being, anything in a relationship, anything in your finances, anything in your health, if there is some lack, some absence of what you feel you would like to experience, then begin by thinking of how that would be in your life. Begin speaking that truth. For example, Myrtle continually expressed to her organs that were breaking down, "You are designed by God, and forgive me for speaking to you with ill words, for cursing you, for not taking care of you, for not thinking about the sacredness of you, but you are perfect and whole." And then she would act in that manner. And she began to see improvement, and she focused on the improvement. If you're lacking, give that which you would like to see returned, even if it is in the smallest of quantities. It will return. Practice and study. Go on the Unity website, read Myrtle's archives, seek for yourself, and it will be opened unto you, your specific needs. They will not be another's words, although they may be those practices. They did meditate regularly, and Charles would go into the silence and just open in that space of no thinkingness. Myrtle would do healing, contemplation, and healing words to her body and those that names were sent to her and conditions. She would see them whole as Jesus did. And watch how you are led. Let this be your individual practice and not someone else's that you may or may not do correctly. There's no wrong way to prayer, but to see improvement in the outcome of our prayer life, let's improve the quality of our prayers. I lost my husband, but I never really lost him, for there are no things lost in the universe. He's somewhere. I just can't physically see him. If I get still enough, I can feel him. I can almost hear him. I recall those loving moments, and my life again is filled with joy. For what I focus on, what I speak on, how I act is what surrounds me. So today, for this moment, I act with loving thoughts and words. I act knowing I have all I need. I act knowing I was blessed with a beautiful relationship for decades, and I will continue to do that, especially when I'm feeling like I can't. So continue to reach out. Please do. You have friends in Unity circles everywhere. I do not know where you live, but please seek a Unity center. There are online classes. We have our world headquarters here in the United States at Unity Village near Kansas City. It's a fabulous place to visit. And just do a little research, read a few of these Unity texts, and you will begin to feel a shift because you're opening your mind to another dimension that you didn't even think existed within you. And you may come to know God in an extraordinarily vibrant, intimate way that you did not know existed. If you have any questions, please leave messages as you have been doing. I will get back with every single one of you. I promise to do so. If you want to have a personal conversation, private message me and we will chat. I love to share my understanding of the Unity movement and the work of creating a world that works for everyone. It starts in here first. So thank you. Thank you for your letter. I will see you this Sunday. Remember, next Sunday, Armand and Angelina are coming to church. Watch it on Zoom, on YouTube, because these two are fantastically fabulous. I met them 20 years ago when they were just dating and getting together. And now this incredibly opposite couple come together for this dynamic duo of music and laughter and sheer joy. You will love them. Not this Sunday, but next. This Sunday, we're going to talk about coming into fall and the World Day of Prayer. So be with me either here or at the church. We're still following safety measures. I love you. God loves you. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye. Namaste.